Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you that we've woken up alive. Many people have died, but we thank you for this opportunity. And Father, as you're going to read, as you're going to revise, as you're going to do this mathematics, we welcome you that you may guide us, that you may lead us, and we may understand each and everything. And we pray that you may protect us as we are going for our UCE. In the mighty name of Jesus, I've prayed.
Amen. Thank you so much, Salome, for the word of prayer. Okay, so today we are going to look at set theory, and allow me to first take you through a few things that you need to always remember as you are attempting this section of set theory. Now, when you're attempting this part of set theory, number one, always remember to have one, define. Define the sets you are forming. Let me say, for any unknown you're going to use, always go on and define. Let me say, you can say, let A represent maybe, in case maybe you're dealing with, it depends on what you're dealing with. Let it A represent the set of people that are absent. Set of people who are absent. So you define those different sets you are going to use. Let B represent this and this. So always first define the different letters that you are going to use. Number two, in case there are some unknowns, also go on and define. Let me say, you can say, let X, or you can say X is equal to the number of people who take all maybe the subjects. So you define that given unknown and where you're going to use it. Number three, analyze your data. Analyzing means that you can summarize your data. Summarize the data you have, that A intersection B intersection C is equal to X. That A intersection B intersection C prime is equal to 3. That N A prime intersection B prime intersection C prime is equal to maybe 5, like that. So that is what we call analysis of the data. Number four, do not always forget your title. A Venn diagram. Venn diagram. Now, here you can tell us that what is this Venn diagram showing? That the Venn diagram is showing this and this. Venn diagram may be representing people who are being interviewed. People who are interviewed. The Venn diagram representing the diseases, like that. So, but the keyword is Venn diagram. If you can go on, in case you are not short of vocabularies, you tell us what is those Venn diagrams representing. Then number five, always calculate the unknowns. Obtain or calculate the unknowns. Calculate the unknowns. And in your calculation, show a step-by-step approach on how you are obtaining those unknowns. Let me say you are obtaining for NA only. You put a subtitle that NA only, and then show clear that this is X minus 2 plus 4, maybe plus X or plus A is equal to maybe 30. Show clearly how you are obtaining uh, those different things that you are working with, such that you can be in position to score. But don't do them from the head. Clearly show how you are obtaining them. Number six, interpret your data very well. There is interpretation. Make a good decision. and as well put a good reason. Here is like you are responding back to the question. This is the response. In the response, interpret the scenario very well, make a decision. Is it a yes? Is it a no? And then go on to the reasoning. So those are the few things you need to remember when you are dealing with the set theory. Then sometimes I also want you to know that when we are doing these sets, because many times the first set has undefined, go on and draw the second set. But also remember that we have different regions. If at all this is n of A, this is n of B, and this is n of C, and this is our universal set, do not forget the different regions. This region here in the middle here that I'm shading, let me use another color that I'm shading with green. This region here, that green one is what we call N A intersection B intersection C, the region that combines all the sets. Then the region that is represented by this one here only, that region there is what we call, you look at the two sets, it combines A and C, but it excludes B. So that region is what we call A intersection C intersection B prime. For the region that is represented by yellow here, that region you can note that has A and has B, but C is outside it. So here we shall say A intersection B, but C is outside. Then the region that is represented by this blue here, that region of blue is the region that has B and has C. So you call it B intersection C, but it doesn't have A. So that's how we call it. Now you need to remember some of those concepts when you are calculating, because now this one we shall read it A intersection C only. So sometimes in words that's how they say A intersection C only. So now you need to know that which region is that has A intersection C only. Sometimes they can say A and C, but not B, A. So you need now to be very careful which wording are they using to mean that particular thing. Then we have another region. This one here, this region here is what we call C only. So when we tell you C only, it means that only this part, because this one, and this one contains B and A. When we go on and say, let me say this one here, now that one is what we call A only. So you need now to know that where is A only. Then the other region is this region here. That one is what we call B only. Then the last region is the region that is outside, this region here. Now, this region that is outside, we have two names we can call it. That one can be called A prime intersection C prime. Or sometimes they can use A union B union C everything prime. So it can be represented using any of those. Now, those are the common regions that you need to know on any Venn diagram as you are approaching it. Kindly let me know through the chat whether we are on the same page. Are we on the same page? Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. But also, I want to first clean this screen. But also I understand, though I know today I may not give you any scenario, I understand that do not cram that all ratio Venn diagrams can be this. Sometimes a common word they can use, they can say that all the number, they can give you things. Let me say A, B, and C. Then they can tell that all the people who do A also do B. Something like that. That all who do A also do B. Something like that. That all the people who do A are also doing B. Something like that. So sometimes when you meet such numbers, let me say it is the number that has come, then I expect that your Venn diagram it will depend on how your Venn diagram is. So you may find that you have two diagrams like this, but they have told that all of those people who do A are doing B, something like this. So you may find that this is A and this is B, but they have told that all those who are in A are doing B. So you may find something like this depending on your diagram, whereby now this is okay. Let me say, this is C. This is C and B. And then you may find that this is how you are supposed to draw your Venn diagram. So you need to first sit down, understand the question. Because when they tell that all those who do A also do B, all those who are doing something like that. So you may find that you need to do a Venn diagram in this nature. So do not cram that always is supposed to be this. You need to first sit down and then interpret it very well. So you may find that this is the way you are supposed to draw it. Or sometimes I've seen the questions whereby this is how you're supposed to draw a diagram, whereby this is your A, this is your B, and this is your C. They tell that all those people of B are doing A, and all those who do C are doing B. So you may find that this is how you're supposed to draw your Venn diagram. So in case things are not complicated, you may find that you need to be able to think beyond what you are used to do. Yeah, but in case you find a scenario, read, interpret it well, more so for things that may not have an intersection. More so when you find such statements, all of those who do this also do this. So you may find that sometimes you need to adjust your Venn diagram to meet that case. Okay, so we are going now to start. Now, our first item is here. So I've told you the first thing you do, define what you are going to use. So you can first read through the item. So when you look at the item, and as you are reading through, first read through the item. Okay, let me hope everyone has finished to read through. Can you go on and first define your terms? Define your terms that you are going to use. Define the terms. Always look out for which terms are repeatedly, which terms are appearing most. Yeah. So, okay. So here we have three things. So when you look, we have three subjects. So we need to let one. We are going to say that let. We are going to say let. We have three things. we have foods and nutrition. So we shall say that let F represent learners who take food and nutrition. Food and nutrition. Very good. Yes, Mark. Sorry. Yes, Mark.
Master, I thought they had defined them for us, so there is no need of us
Yeah, it is
defining.
very okay. It is very okay. When they define them, you may not define them. No problem. But just here, I'm just doing it for my personal use, but it is very okay. So when they have put them, that is very okay. So Yossi is the one for Chinese, and always once they define, do not put your own letters. Okay, now we are going to start. The second one, we have said you have to interpret the scenario. Now, out of the 120 senior one learners, now you go on and interpret that. That one is my universal set, which has 120 learners. Who joined the institution this year? 40 opted to do fine art. So you say now, fine art, they use the A. So you will say A is equal to 40 children. The number of learners who opted to do Chinese, you first write that statement. The N, these are the number who opted to do Chinese, is twice means two. The number of those who opted to do FN. FN was represented by F. Kindly first let me know whether that statement is okay. The one I have just written. The number here, this statement here, for this part. Is it okay to everyone? How I have put it down? Okay, it is okay, good. Then you continue. First interpret each and every bit. The head teacher agreed to purchase new Chinese textbooks if the probability of the learner taking Chinese is greater than 50%. Now, this one is the one that, this is the decision statement. This is the statement that is going to come for in your conclusion. So meaning that in your conclusion or whatever thing you're going to be doing, this is what you are trying to solve. This is what you are trying to find out. Does surely the number of people who take Chinese greater than 50%? Now, this is where the problem is. So that problem, this is the problem you are going to solve. You are going to find out that what is the number of children taking Chinese and is their probability greater than 50%? So now this is a statement that you'll come when you are interpreting what we talked about, interpretation, decision, and making the conclusion. You'll base on this statement to make your conclusion. And whenever they give you such statements where that you need to use for decision, please use the percentages they have used. In case it is in percentage, your conclusion should as well come in percentage. In the first month, some learners were still finding out which subject they could take, and some ended up studying more than one subject. 10 learners started order 3. Now you can say F intersection A intersection C will give us the 10 children who studied order 3 subjects. 25 here studied food and nutrition and fine art. So I'll come here and say they studied food and nutrition. Food and nutrition, they used F, and fine art. And those ones were 25. Then 10 studied only fine art. Now that one, the moment they use word only, also write it there. That 10 studied fine art. Only you put that word there in your interpretation, that 10. Then 12 studied only food and nutrition and Chinese. So you say food and nutrition, which was represented by F, and Chinese only. Whenever they put the word only in your interpretation, put the word there. These were 12. Now, in the chat, you tell me F intersection C intersection A. F prime intersection C prime intersection A prime. How many children do not study any of the subjects? What could be our answer there? How many children don't study any of the subjects? Put in the chat what you think. Maria has said 0, said 0. Are the rest agreeing with the answer, or they are still thinking? Bast says we late. I want one more person to tell us what you think. Okay. Yeah. We define and find out. We late. We late. Very good. Okay. We calculate it. Now, that is where you need to understand the scenario very well. They told you at the start of the scenario that from here, when you read this statement, as a requirement means that it is, I think, a requirement, like it's like a must have, something like that. According to my interpretation, learners must opt for either. That means for either, it means that for one of them, either they have to take FN, they have to take art or Chinese. At least you must do one of them. Nothing like I am not going to do. So that means that there's then only option of you opting out for not doing anything. I don't know whether now it is clear. Are you clicking? Is a requirement. So you should either do FN, do art, or Chinese as a language. So it's like a must. You must do them. There is not any option that for you don't want to do any of those language. It is a requirement that you must do one of them. I don't know whether people it is okay that you must do one of them. You must do a vocation. People, I don't know whether you are clicking for us to continue now. And if you are clicking now, what could be our outside? 7 has said 0. Okay. In case you are agreeing with me to say that the outside is now 0 because it is a requirement. So hope everyone now is okay. So here we are going to let and say, now since it is a requirement, for you to sit senior 4, the requirement is you must have SAT P7 or its equivalent. So here we are going to come and say, now for this is going to be 0. So that is the first thing. So that means you had to get this through understanding the scenario. Okay, now from there, after doing so, it means that you have been able to interpret, you have been also able to define. But I'm going to go back to Sharon Mark. I think it was Sharon Mark, whether when they define, we need to define again. Mark, I'll request that you define again, such that someone who is marking your work knows exactly what you did. Because these scripts, the papers, you go with them. But once they define for you, strictly stick to what they used. Don't change. But there is no problem you defining again, because at the end of the day, you need also to know what each of those letters represent after handing in your paper. So that is very key. Hope you have picked. That is could be my reasoning as why I want us to define. Now from there, the task was asking, should the head teacher buy more Chinese textbooks? So remember, the condition for us to buy, it must be greater than 50. So from there, I'm going to come and then I write my heading here. I'll say, because we have said we must write the heading, you say Venn diagram showing, you tell us what you can say showing, or sometimes you can say representing any word that is that, but since it is representing, not just showing, you can say Venn diagram representing the subjects offered, the subjects offered or opted for by different learners. Subjects opted for by learners. So this is your heading. So tell us what kind of presentation you are using, that you are using a Venn diagram presentation, and what does it represent, or what is it showing, that is showing the different subjects. Then from there, please make sure you go on and draw your circles very well. Don't not go on and use your ruler, draw clear diagrams. So this is my diagram. Then from there, I'll go in for my circles. Okay, that is my circle, but I didn't want it shaded. Okay. Okay, let me first remove this circle here and I put another one. So I'll have my Venn diagrams here. Use your blue pen. You can use a pen if you have. If you don't have, please use a pencil, but I recommend a pen such that your thing is very, oh, that one is also okay. Though it is not so proportional, but I can draw it again. Yeah, so those are your three Venn diagrams that we do have. Then from there, you are going to label them very well. That this is my set, which we had, I think we had 120. Then they told us that whenever, now I want you to pay attention, whenever they give you those that take all, those ones should always be the first people you write there in your Venn diagram. So allow me now to change my color. I can use the black. So here we shall have the 10. Then label your sets. There is a mark for labeling. Label your sets and insert the data well. So let me say this is our FN. This is our fine art, and then this is the Chinese. Then from our thing, still from our interpretation, remember they told us that those who take F and C only were 12. The moment there is a word only, from here, 12 only food and Chinese. Whenever there is a word only, you don't subtract anything. So here we shall have 12. Then they told us that 25 were taking FN and fine art. So that means that for that particular set of 25 is this part here and here. That's why we have those part, the whole of this set here, the intersection. So it is 25. So for such a case, we subtract. So for that one, we are going to say, you come down and say, those who take F and A only. And we have said that one is going to be 25 minus 10, which gives us 15. So here I'm going to come here and say, now this is 15. So you show clearly how you are obtaining those things. Yeah. So here I'll say that here now I'll have my 15. Then you ask, did they give us A and C only? That not really, they didn't. Then this one, they told us those who do fine art only. These ones, they gave them to us as 40. Then the rest of the things were not given to us completely. So meaning that there are other things that you are going to let. So you are going to allow me to let other things. An example that we are going to let, we don't know what is here, what is contained here. We don't know. but let me use another color just to make it a bit better. So we don't know how many are in that section there. So we need also to let them. So here you don't know. So let me say I'm going to use B here. I don't know how many are there in that particular region. But also, I want us to remind ourselves that they told us from this statement that NC is equal to 2NF. So we had a statement that says N, let me write here, N of C is equal to N of F, but twice it was like that. So I'm going to let again, because they told that C, all those numbers who do C are twice those numbers who do 2, who do F. So I can say, or I can write my statement, 1, to first obtain some of the unknowns. And how am I, but also here for A only, here they gave us 10, I think. I don't know whether that is okay. From there, you can notice that they told us where A only was 10, so that one we can as well fill in. So here, we are going to have N as 10 only. It was given. That means that we can be able to find what B is. This B we have let, because now we have said, so I'm going to go to a new screen. Let me go to a new screen here, and then I will start my calculations very well. So from here, I'm going to let that blue thing you are seeing. Yeah. So I'm going to let that B first to calculate what B is. Yeah. So you can notice that here B, so I will say A intersection C only. So when you look at that set, it is this set here that I'm going to work out with. So when you look at that set, you notice that N of A will equal to 40. So that means you can have 15 plus 10 plus B plus 10 will equal to 40. When you add up 15 plus 10 plus 10, you end up with 35. So this is going to be 35 plus the B is equal to 40. And you notice that your B will equal to 40 minus 35, and our B will equal to 5. So that means that where we have B here, it is the same as 5 because we have obtained 5. Then from there, it means that we can be able to obtain two unknowns, whereby we can be able to get what is here in this set, and we can be able to get what is here in this set. So you are going to allow me, we obtain our y. So here I will say C only. But do not forget they told us that C only or C is equal to 2NF. So you can allow me to say that you let one of them. Let me say you let C. So you can say that this C is the same as 2N of F. So you can say that let N of C be equal to X. So here you are going to allow me to put X. Now, if N of C is equal to X, it means that now, or you can let F, it is up to you. It is up to what you want. You can either let N of C, or another person can come and say, let me let F. It is up to you. Or you can say let N of F equals to X. Now, if N of F is equal to X, it means that N of C will equal to 2X. So here I can say that this one is going to be 2X, while this one I've letted it to be X. So now you can first find your Y for C only. So that means that when I have 12 plus 10 plus, now we have obtained 5 plus Y, I must be able to get to X. Now, when you have 12 plus 10 plus 5, 12 plus 10 plus 5, you end up with 27 plus Y equals to 2X. But since you are interested in Y, it means your Y will equal to 2X minus 27. So here inside is where we are going to put 2x minus 27. Then your next task is to find what is here. So you can first let any unknown, let me say m, to be here, and then you define, you say that let that one is f only b equal to m. So now you'll come here and say, now I'm finding I'm finding for f only. So for f only, we are going to add everything. So we shall say m plus 15 plus 10 plus 12 should be able to give us x. So when you add 15 plus 10 plus 12, you'll be able to get 37. So I'll have m plus 37 equals to x. So our m will equal to x minus 37. So here we shall have x minus 37. And then we said outside here we have 0. Kindly let me know whether we are on the same page. Is that okay to everyone? Okay, very good. Now, the next thing we are going to do now, after getting those different unknowns, we are going to go on and add everything we have within our set and equate to 120. Please do not forget, even if here, I know you know that it is 0. So please put the 0 there always, in case it is a 0. Such that you define clearly what that 0 is. So you are going to allow me to squeeze my work. But for you, in your case, don't squeeze your work. I'm just doing it because I don't want to go to another page, because we are going to use the data on this page. So you are going to allow me that now we write on this page here the way the things are. Now, when we come to the second part, it means we are going to add. It will depend on how your teachers taught you. Someone may just decide and get the set of f only, then he adds on the remaining. Another one can get this set and then you add on the unknown. Another one can add everything. But just because I would love, just let me, either I can just come and say the whole of this set here, is equal to 40. So I can just decide and say that is 40 plus what is remaining. So here I'm remaining with this, which is x minus 37, plus I'm remaining with this, which is 12, plus I have this, which is 2x minus 27. Then outside here, I have just a 0, and this will equal to 120. Someone can do it that way. Another person, please feel free for you do it the way you have been doing it. Another person could come and say, for me, I want to add everything. So for you, may make your decision. It is up to you to come and say, I'm going to add this, and the 0 I equate to 120. Please, that one is also very, very fine. Okay, so it is up to you. Why not? Oh, okay. Yes, so Lynn, I don't know where you are getting 37 minus x, but it is here. It came from what we have here. Yeah, so kindly look at how we got here. We got it from there, the x minus 37. So from here, we are going to add 40. I add the negative 37, the 12, the negative 27, and the 0. So you can add all those at once. Then I have x plus 2x, which will give us the 3x. Then I have here the 40 minus the 37 plus the 12 minus the 27 is equal to 120. So now you first deal with those ones. 40 minus 37 plus 12 minus 27, which will give me 3x minus 12 equals to 120. So you collect your like terms, 3x minus 12 plus 12 will equal to 120 plus the 12. So this will give us the 3x equals to 120 plus 12, which gives us a 132. Now the next step is for you to be able to divide. So we shall come here and divide by 3, divide by 3. So our x will equal to 132 divided by 3, which will give us our 44. Are we still on the same page? I don't know whether Lynn you have picked. Are we on the same page now? Okay, that is good. So after getting the 44, now the next thing is for you to go on and draw your new Venn diagram. But you can first calculate here and obtain the individuals. Let me say you can first find out what is f only. And you know that f only is x minus 37. So you say 44 minus 37. And that one will give us 44 minus 37, which will give us our 7. Then you go to this one, which is c only. You say c only. That one is 2x minus 27. So you first set 2 times 44 minus 27. So you set 2 times 44 minus the 27, which will give you 60. I think it gives us 61. So it will give us a 61. So first calculate the unknowns that you are going to fill. Then from there, that is when now we can go on and draw. Before we start responding, first find all the unknowns and then draw your next diagram without any unknown that you are going to use to answer the question. Kindly let me know whether we can now continue. I'm going to remove this screen. So before I remove the screen, let me know whether we are good to continue. Okay, I think, yeah, we can continue. So I'm going to remove that screen such that, and everything is going to disappear. Everything is going to disappear, and then we draw our new diagram. So here we have 44, then there, okay. Okay, so let me clear everything. Then I'm going to draw my new Venn diagram. So this is our new Venn diagram now. Your new Venn diagram, still put in your 3 circles. It's not that it is wasting your time, but you are going to respond back to the item. So in our new Venn diagram, still we shall use the same, that n of f. So this one, we had our answers 44. N of a, this one was 40. Then remember n of c. People who remember, we had it 2 times the other one. So it was 2 times 44. So here you have 88. I remember here we got 61. I remember here we had 12. Here we had 10. Here we had 5. We had 10. We had 15. And here we had 44 minus, what was it, 37. Here we had 7. I think, yeah, it was 7, I think. Here we had 7, and then outside we had the 0. So you first draw it again without any unknown. And here we had our 120. Okay. Yes, Lloyd.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Tessmea was saying that when I calculated that number and added the 40, 54, and 88, I got something like above 120. Isn't it wrong now? Because those digits, they told me that they always have to add up to that total that they've given us.
How did you add? Which values did you add?
I added these ones, 44, 40, and 88.
Now, when you do that, Danile,
Yes.
you are repeating some values. Some values are overlapping. So you are adding them twice. So you are adding 12. 12 is appearing in F and C. So you are repeating them. You are repeating
Oh.
10, you are repeating the 5 and the 15.
So I have to add the ones inside.
Yes, you add the ones inside only.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, so the first item asked us when you that should the head teacher buy more Chinese textbooks, and the condition was for the head teacher to buy the Chinese textbooks, learner should be the agreed new Chinese if the probability of a learner taking Chinese is greater than 50. So now I'll come here and now we start responding back. Number of children taking Chinese is 88. Now, since they gave us in percentage, here you work out with the probability. So I'm going to say probability of children taking Chinese. This is for Chinese will equal to our 88, or you can 88 divided by the 120. So 88 divided by 120 gives you here gives you 11 out of 15. But since it was given in percentage, you are going to multiply this by 100. So I'll multiply it by 100. And when you multiply it times 100, you end up getting 73.33%. Now you go back and ask yourself, because the question wanted us to find whether the head teacher should go on and buy more Chinese textbooks. So now the condition was, if the probability is greater than 50%, can we get someone to conclude for us? Yes, Daniela.
Which I was asking that if I could say that 88 out of 100 times 120, is it correct or wrong?
Eh, I beg your pardon? When you
If
say,
when I want to like change that thing to become like is it a percentage, and I say 88 out of 100 times 120.
okay, now when you are converting to a percentage, right? Or when you are
Yes.
obtaining probability, probability is always given by the invent divided by the total. Are you getting it? So the number
Yes.
down for n of your probability should be representing the total number of students you have within the class.
Mhm.
Eh,
So now
then you
if
just,
after getting that answer is what I multiply by 100.
perfect, yes. The answer you get here is what you multiply by 100. Okay. Yes, Eric. Eric, you can conclude for us.
Yes, so therefore, the number of
Okay, I first take you back. Conclude based on those statements.
therefore the head teacher will agree to purchase new Chinese textbooks since the number of Chinese students is 73.3%, which is greater than 50%.
Wow, perfect. Yes. So you have interpreted the percentage, that is one. You have compared the 50% and the 73%, and you have taken the decision. So the decision is yes, the head teacher should go on and buy more textbooks because the number of students offering, or the probability of the number of students offering the Chinese is greater than the 50% by this. Or the percentage is 73.3%, which is greater than the 50%. So that is how you should conclude and respond back to the item. Yes, Gavanian, is it a question?
Good morning, teacher.
Yes, good morning.
Teacher, is the title needed or not?
The title is needed, but we have already put it.
Oh,
We put it on the first one. Okay.
thanks.
Then part B, determine the likelihood that a learner studied more than one subject. Now, more than one subject more than one subject. When they say likelihood, that is probability. They are indirectly asking you for probability. Yeah, that is what the question wants. So I'm going to come here and say probability likelihood number of learners who studied more than one. More than one. So you first add them. So you know more than one, we have the 12. So I'll have the 12 there, plus I have this 10, plus I have 15, then I have the 5. More than one means greater, more than one, greater than 1. So anything greater than 1 means it can be 2, it can be 3, or more than that. So that means you pick those who studied 2 and more. So here, when you add up your thing, 12 plus this is, I think, around 42. 15 plus 5 plus 10 plus 12 gives us 42. Then after you say probability, here you put the P stands for probability. Then you say number of learners who studied more than 1. Then you say it is equal to 42 divided by the total number of 120. Then you come and say 42 divided by 120. You can reduce, if it can be reduced, you say it is 7 out of 20. Yeah. So you can report as 7 out of 20. But here, it is also very okay for you to write it as a percentage. To say 7 out of 20 times 100. And then, but you first write this. Then you say 7 out of 20 times 100. And then you say 35%. You can conclude and say that the number of children, or the likelihood, because that is the probability. So you can say, even here, someone could as well write it as a decimal point, that 7 divided by 20 is 0.35. Then you say that the likelihood, you can use those given words. Yes. So, but here, do not forget, in probability, I told you must conclude with the keywords from our scale. I don't know that someone can remember. If our percentage is 35%, which word is the best to use in your conclusion when you are responding back? Which word would be the best to use? Can you type it in the chat? Which word are you going to use in your response? Yes, Daniela.
Teacher, now I was inquiring about that word likelihood. When
Mm.
we got it in some scenario question, our teacher had told us there is some table he drew, and he said that now, for example, if a digit is between 0.025 and you've got the probability, it becomes very unlikely. That is that is what we used to conclude. And if the digit is between 0.25 and 0.5, it is unlikely.
That
If
is
it
what
is
I was.
between
Yes,
now,
that
teacher,
is
what I
very
want to know,
correct.
it
That is
is
very correct.
included here, or we just follow the question?
No, like you followed a question. Now, for this situation, the likelihood was standing in for probability. But in your response, that's what I'm asking people to interpret, because we did it some time back. So I'm asking them which word, because we have what we call the probability scale. And we said we have 0, 25, 50, 75, and 100. So I told them that there are some words we must use depending on where our thing is. So that's why I'm asking people, in your response, which word are you going to use? Because we have two words. We have likely and we have unlikely. So we said here, we shall say this is very unlikely. This one is unlikely. This is likely. And this is very likely.
Thank you,
Eh,
sir.
yeah. So now it depends. Now, Daniela, before you go off, are you still on?
Yes,
Daniela, you tell me, where does 35% lie?
it lies in unlikely.
Unlikely. So it is between 25 and
50.
the 50. So how would you conclude?
So is that I conclude by saying it is very unlikely for what is the question?
I go back to the question.
Yes. I conclude by saying it is very likely that a learner studied more than one subject.
So that one you are going to be off, Daniela, because you have to first look at where does the percentage lie. You know, 25 lies here. Are you seeing? And
Yes.
the word we use for that percentage is the word unlikely. Are you seeing? So in your
Yes.
conclusion, that word should come in. Let me see whether Josh can. Are you getting it, Daniela?
Yes.
So you be thinking about the statement we can use the word. Yes, Josh, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I would like to conclude.
Okay.
So for me, I will conclude by saying, therefore,
Mm.
it's very unlikely for a learner uh, to do more than one subject because the percentage is less than 50.
Okay. Yes. So alternatively, because here you need to state, you need to state exactly what you have got, and then you make a comparison. Let me first hear from Gisa. Yes, Mugisa.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
I would say that unlikely.
Mm.
It is unlikely for a learner
Mm-hmm.
studied more than one subject, since the percentage is lying between 25 and 50.
Okay. Now I want us to incorporate in what we have obtained. Are you getting it? So maybe I'll okay, let me hear from Eric. Yes, Eric?
What if a probability? Like somehow that like let's say a probability like it's 50.
Mm.
Like it's exactly 50 or 25 or 75. What should be said?
Now, if it is 50, we say that's where you use either unlikely or likely in case it is exact that. In case it is 25, that one just stick to unlikely. Hope that is okay.
25 is unlikely. Or very
Yes.
unlikely.
No, like between 0 and 25 is very unlikely. But anything from 25 onwards, that is unlikely. So the keyword you use is unlikely. Even for 75, use likely. But anything beyond it, that's when you use very likely.
25 is very unlikely.
Yes?
Right. 25 is very, very unlikely, right?
20?
25 is very
Yes.
unlikely. Okay.
Yes, very unlikely. Unless when you want to use less likely. So such words. Okay. Okay, let me hope the last person, iPhone. Okay. Now we can continue. So here your conclusion could be, or you could conclude like saying, since when you look through the question, they were using percentages, feel free also to use the percentages. And then you can say that since the percentage is 35%, then it is unlikely that a learner will study more than one subject. So you can make your conclusion in that way. Since the percentage is 35%, which lies between the 25 and the 50%, then it is unlikely that the learner will study more than one subject. So make sure that the answers you have got are matched in your response with your decision you have taken and then the right interpretation of the probability scale. Okay, let me hope, Patricia, you have picked how you can conclude. Then the last part, determine the number of learners who opted for the required number of subjects. Now, learners who opted for the required number of subjects. Now, that means that in simple terms, they wanted you to find out the numbers who opted in for those particular subjects that they wanted. And the condition was that as a requirement for the lower, you have to opt for either. So either means what? Can someone interpret for us? How are you going to respond? What does the last part tell us to do? Okay, Eric?
Since it's asking for either,
Hmm.
either what?
Either.
May first erase this Venn diagram.
You want to see the Venn diagram?
I want to erase. No. Like erase a question. Like I want to see a question.
Okay, it is
Like
there down.
so. I think you get it by adding everything in a Venn diagram. F union A union C.
Okay, as a requirement for the new lower secondary curriculum, learners in a certain have to opt for either food. When they say, when they give you an option and they said you should either go in for FN, go in for Chinese or language, what do they mean in simple terms? That's what we are looking for now.
Doesn't it mean union?
Yes?
Doesn't either mean like a union? Like a union set either.
But now you need to interpret it depending on the context. Oh, okay, he has muted. Okay, CJ, people in the chat, you can make your contribution and tell us what you think. CJ?
I think that with the one either, the one that is one. Or even the R. So they need us to pick only one. So the question is,
Wow. Okay, thank you, CJ. So either, now you need to look at the context. I don't know whether people are, in case, now, according to what CJ has told us that, because they told us either, so that means that you must at either, you have three options. You should either do F or A or C only. That is like the interpretation. So here, it was indirectly the question asking you, what are those number of students who are doing only one subject? So how many students are doing F only? How many students are doing A only? Plus those who do C only. Kindly let me know through the chat whether that is okay. You should either do food or do A or do C. So either means one of them. So I don't know the members in the chat now, it is clear that we are looking for only one subject. Children who take on only F only, A only, and the other one only. Yes, Mugisa.
Excuse me, sir.
Mm.
But I think here they want just for F only because they said that either food and nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they wanted just for F only.
Which one? Which part? The last part?
Yes,
The question?
because this side up, they said that as a requirement for the NLSC, learners in a certain institution have either foods and nutrition F.
Uh-huh. All?
Okay. Oh, fine art. Yeah, they wanted it for
Okay.
all.
Okay. So, okay. So here we shall now go on and say this is 7 plus 10 plus 61, which will give us 78. So because it was a requirement, so you had to do one of them at yes. So, okay. Yes, 7.
Teacher, I thought when they say either or, it's supposed to be something like union, and when they say and, it's supposed to be an intersection. Why are you taking only the ones who did F only, A only, and C only? Yet they have said either or. Doesn't that mean
Okay. Don't go
in
off. Now, the word that represents union is all. The word that represents intersection is and. There is no nothing like either. So when we say A or B, that's when you represent it as A union B. So the statement either A or B is not the same as A or B.
Yes,
I don't know
teacher.
that is correct. 7, are you picking the difference?
Yes, teacher. But now, could you help?
Yes, like when someone says either, this one, either is like telling you to get one option from what they have given you. That is the meaning, according to my own understanding. When I tell that either, I'll take you to, let me say, in case it is, okay, I can say
Yes,
either
teacher.
I'll buy for
Could you
you
in
an
the combined
iPhone.
board?
No, 7, you get, when they tell that either you go in for an iPhone or you go in for Techno. That means that someone is restricting you to either to choose one of them, but not both. 7, is that okay?
Yes, teacher.
7,
So
I've
when
lost you.
you're trying to say that when there's teacher, you're trying to say when
Yes.
they say either or, we have to go with the option of picking one.
Okay,
Okay,
I want
but
you to
so
understand
the
it from
or
this statement here. When your parent tells that they are going to buy for you either an iPhone or a Techno phone, how do you understand it?
that they have an option of buying me only one of either the
Aha,
iPhone or the
perfect. But doesn't mean that they
okay,
can
teacher.
buy for
Thank
you
you.
both.
Okay, teacher.
So that means that from the two options they have given you, you choose one.
Okay, so the either suppresses the or.
Aha.
Thank you.
Okay. Eric? Yes?
Are you supposed to, in this case, I thought you're supposed to add number of F and number of A and number of C. Like 44 and 40 and 88.
No. Now, 44 plus 40 plus... No, now here you need to understand the context and what does either stand for. Now, there are two things here. When they tell you that F or B or C, that's when you use your union. But when they use the word either, you need now to look at the context and ask yourself that according to the context, what does either mean here? Because that either and all, it is like giving you alternatives. In this case, either is giving us an alternative, that students have an alternative of taking F, of taking A, or taking C. I don't know that you are getting it. Now, for those things you want to add, and in fact, never add them. Never add 44 plus 40 plus 88 in sets. There is nothing you are finding there. Now, let me interpret it again. When they use the word either, dear students, either or is used in a situation whereby you have a choice. Here, either or, there is a choice between two different things or three different things. For this case, we had F, we had A, and we had C. But taking both is not possible. So you can either buy an iPhone or you go for Techno, but it's not possible to go for both things. So you have to make a choice of just taking one item. So that is what the question wanted. That you tell us that what is that one option that you have to go in for here. I don't know whether now it is clear or not.
Yeah, because like teacher in the external mock, there was a question kind of like that. Like in the external mock, there was some question in sets that said, okay, it was like a player, it was like about players in sports, and it said something about either, whereby you had to use a union set. I don't remember it very well, but it was
Okay, I think you need now to look at the context of the question. And now you know that when they use either, how do you interpret it? Yeah, but either, when they say either or, when they say maybe, when they, like here, you have a choice to make, but you cannot go in for both. You have to make one. Because the next thing also you ask yourself, because they have already given you the union set is 120. So they cannot ask you. If they wanted to ask, they would have asked maybe the number of students who do all the subjects. That's when you add everything. Who do all, the number of students, the total number of students. That's when you add everything to get the union. Eh. Okay. Yes, 7. I want us to go away from this item.
Teacher, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. I think we are going to continue. For any other questions, you can place them now in the chat. So here your conclusion would be that the number, because the question wanted, the number of learners who opted for the required number of subjects. Then here you say it was 78. Yeah. Because remember the options were food, how many students presented themselves for the required number of subjects. Yeah. The moment you go on and add 44 plus 40 plus 88, yet the requirement was one of them, then that means you are going to be off track. Okay. So let's do another one. Allow me to clean my screen. First read through this item. First read through the item. Okay. Now, we said that the first thing you do, first sit down and then have the interpretation of the set. When they let them, there is no problem. You stating them that let, because remember this is the item and you'll hand in your paper. So people should clearly be able to know what you are doing, even if they don't look at the paper. So you know that let your set C was the Cathay, then B was the Badlu, and then A was for Andrew. Then from there, we say that the next thing you go on, you start interpreting or analyzing the data, step by step, statement by statement. He distributed voting slips to 116. So the number of students was 116, the universal set, instructing them to tick the name of their preferred candidates. After collection, the teacher found out that 20 students ticked both A and C. So you interpret A and C was equal to 20. Then 18 students ticked A and B. Then you say A and B was 18. Then 9 students ticked only B and C. I told the moment you find the word only, then please also put it there. B and C only were equal to 9. Then 40 students ticked B in total. So that means the number of students who ticked B were 42. Then 20 students ticked only C. Pay attention to the word only. So only C was equal to 20. Then they went on and told you that, now, this question here, those who ticked B only were half. Now you first write, oh, a minute, give me a minute. As continue interpreting. Okay. Then, now we are going to first write this step. Those who ticked B only. So I'll come here and say B only. Where and C, but not B. Now, whenever we are writing a negation statement, we write using B prime. So I write B prime, not B. So that means I'll come here and I said the number of students who ticked A intersection C intersection B prime was equal to those who ticked none. Now, those who ticked none, we said we represent them by A prime intersection B prime intersection C prime. Then the teacher wishes to find out how many students supported each candidate and identify the most preferred candidate. Kindly let me know through the chat whether the interpretation is okay. You have understood how I've analyzed the data up to that point. Is it okay to everyone? Okay. People will. But in case you have a question, you can ask now before we dive deep into our next thing. Okay, since it is very okay, now yes, analyze your data. Analyze your data. Yes. So now I'm going to come here and now I draw my Venn diagram. But remember, before we draw the Venn diagram, the title must come first. The title is the one that shows you the method of presentation you are using for your data. Yes, prime. This prime shows you that someone is not doing that subject. Whenever you find a prime, it shows that someone is not offering that subject. It's not part, in other words, it's not part of the solution. It's not part. In case I want to say, those who are not taking chemistry, I write chemistry, I put a prime. That is the meaning. Hope it is okay, Maria. So I'm going to first say, when you look at the, when you took, you look at, okay, allow me to first mute the, okay. So, okay, Venn diagram representing the different candidates, representing the different class or candidates. Yeah, something like that. So from there, I'm going to come and fill in that this is my NA, this is my NB, and this is my N of C. So my NB, it was given as 42. When you look at the question, from your question, NB was given as 42. Then I'm going to come back here. Here the number is equal to 116. I don't know that the noise is affecting you in the background, but you can let me know. Then those of B and C only. So the moment you find only we don't subtract anything from our universal set. So that one, you don't subtract anything. So here, we shall write our 9. But you also notice that they didn't give you those for the 3. So that is what you always let. So you let that one because it is not given at all. So that is the one you are going to let. So you are going to say, you are going to come here and first let that those students there who do all, who are going to pick all. You know, there are students who write all on the ballot paper. So that one is what you can define as X. Define it like that. So that means that when I come here on my diagram, here I'm going to put my X here in the middle. That will be my X. Then, so we have finished this. Then C only is here. So here I'll put the 20. That is the 20. Then where we have A and B, since they did not tell us, that means that to get A and B, since it was 18, we shall put here 18 minus X. This one is done. Then which one? I want to go to, then A and C here was 20. So here we shall put 20 minus X. That is the first thing we are going to do. Is that okay to everyone? Please check through whether how we have filled in the first part is okay to you. Okay. Now, if that is very okay, I want us to write other two statements that we are going to interpret. The other two statements where B only is a half of NA only. That is the first statement. So they told us from here, I'm going to use that statement that B only is equal to a half of N of A only. Now you ask yourself, do I have any of them? That surely I do not have any of them. So what are you going to do? You don't have you don't have B and you do not have A only. These ones here, you don't have them, but you can be able to obtain them. How are you going to obtain them? Allow me to call here. Are you seeing here? Allow me to call this to be our Y here. So I'm going to come here and I say that NB only is equal to Y. So then in order for me to get Y, I'm going to add everything within this set. So I can say 18 minus X plus 9 plus Y should be able to get 42. Now, you are not seeing negative X plus X gives us a 0. So you have 18 plus 9 plus Y equals to 42. So you add your things, 18 plus 9, which is 27. So I have 27 plus Y is equal to 42. And our Y will equal to 42 minus 27. So our Y will equal to 42 minus 27, which gives us 15. So here where we have Y, this one is going to be 15. Kindly let me know whether that is okay. Is that okay? That first step? Okay, Chirawo says yes, Santa is okay. And the rest, hope that is okay. Very good, Patricia. Then after getting that, this one we have obtained is for B only. Is for B only. So we are going to come and say that N of B only, we have obtained it as a half of N of A only. Now, B is the Y here. So Y we have obtained 15 is equal to a half of N of A only. Now, we want A only. So I remove the half by cross multiplying. So here I'll have 15 times 2 equals to N of A only. So 15 times 2, I'll end up with 30. So I'll have 30 equals to N of A only. So here, I'll have my 30. Kindly let me know whether that is still very fine to everyone. That second step. Okay, people are very fine with it. Then we go to the last part. Now the last part, they gave us a statement which said that the number of students who take A intersection C intersection B prime was equal to those who take none. They gave us a statement of that nature. You remember. Now, A intersection C. A intersection C is this part here. Here. This is A intersection C. Without B, without this one here, that is the section. So that means that 20 minus X will equal to those who don't take any of the subjects or who are not going to vote. So outside here, we are going to have 20 minus X because this number is equal to those who do not take any. Kindly let me know whether we are fine with that. Is that okay? Are we still on the same thing? Danny, I don't know where you are getting about the 2y. Yes, Danny, that is okay. Then multiply it times the 15. Okay. Sheena, you can raise up the hand. Then those who are finished, kind of continue and do the other part. Sheena, can you unmute? Yes, Sheena, tell us where the problem is.
No, what I was asking, it's here. Where did you get 20?
Where did
Like
we
this
get?
20 minus x.
The 20 minus x. The 20 minus x, we had it right from the question because they told us that the number of students who are going to pick A and C were 20. So the number here was given as 20. Those who are going to pick A and C was equal to 20. But to get those who are going to tick A and C only, you subtract minus this intersection of x.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to clean this space here. I'm going to clean this space here. And then we calculate for our unknown. I'll clean this space and then we calculate for our unknown. Now, our unknown that we are going to calculate, remember, we are going to add. So I don't know whether you could allow me the whole of this set here, the way you see the whole of this set here, I know it is 42. So I'm going to say n of e is equal to 106. The whole of that set is 42. So I'm going to say 42 plus, I'm remaining with this 30, plus I'm remaining with this part, which is 20 minus x, plus I have this one, which is 20, plus I have this outside, which is 20 minus x. Everything should give us 116. Now, when I reach here, I'm going to collect like terms. So I'll have 42 plus 30 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 minus x should give us the 116. So you add 42 plus the 20 plus the 30 plus the 20 plus the 20, and it will give you 132. Now, minus x gives us a 2x equals to 116. Now, since you want 2x, you collect like terms. 132 minus 132 minus 2x will equal to 116 minus 132. So you have negative 2x equals to 116 minus that, which gives us negative 16. So to be able to get x, we shall divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. So our x will equal to 8. Okay. Let me hope we are good to continue to that step. Now, after getting the 8, first calculate for each and every unknown that you are going to work with. So the first one, I'm going to come here. I calculate for n of A intersection C only. I will set is 20 minus x. So it is 20 minus 8, which gives me 12. I'll come and I calculate the other one here. N and B only. And this is 18 minus 8, which is equal to 10, because we had 18 minus x, which is equal to 10. I'll continue. I calculate for this one. It is okay since they are the same. For those who do not take any of the subjects, and we say this is 20 minus x, which is 20 minus 8, which is also the 12. Now, after calculating everything, you go back and draw a new Venn diagram for your work. So allow me to clean this screen now. Should I clean?
No.
Or there is someone
No.
still taking notes? Am I good to clean everything I want to clean and then I draw a new screen? Am I good to clean the screen? Okay, I think I can clean the screen. So let me clean. So the moment you go to your next page, still draw. Don't use a free hand, please. You must draw. Draw a boundary. Don't draw those rough work things. You must have your boundary well drawn. Have your circles. Use your, like the way you are seeing mine. And then from there, you label your thing very well that this is N of A. This is now the one you use to make your calculations. This is now the one you use to make your calculations. So here we had 12. Here we had the 9. Here it was 8. We had 12. Then the other one was what? Was 10. I think this was 10. This we had 30. Here we had 15. Here we had our 20. So you have your diagram like that, well drawn and very clear. Now from there, you start now answering the different parts of the question. The first one, determine the students who ticked A and C respectively. Now that one is asking you A and C. Now here, I wouldn't want people, because you have seen A and C, read the context and understand. I don't expect you to come and say, and means an intersection, and then you say A intersection C. That's not the meaning. So this one now, for the context we are in, it means that find the number of students who picked A and those who picked C. Let me hope I've interpreted it the way you are also understanding it. So there, you don't need to check that, read, you need to master the context that you are working with, such that you can be able to answer. So the and in that context doesn't mean that intersection. So I'm going to say number of students of A. Now here you know that you are going to add everything within your set of A here. So let me first pick on, as members are working out, work out and put your answer in the chat. Yes, Gavanian too.
Master.
Yes.
On those ones who never ticked, they were 20
You're saying?
Those ones who never ticked N, they were 20 minus X. Yet I'm seeing
20 minus X, yes.
It is 4.
Which is?
20 minus 16.
20 minus X, we got 8. So 20 minus 8.
Master, where did you get the 20 minus X?
Which 20 minus? No, the 20 minus X came from this statement. This statement here. Are you seeing this statement? Because they told that the number of students who took A and C but not B was equal to those who took none. Are you seeing that statement? So we got it from here. And those who were taking A and C, we had 20 minus X. So this number was equaling to that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So I expect people to be placing their answers in the chat now. So here, according to what I'll have when I add, I'm having 30 plus the 10 plus 8 plus 12, which is giving us 60. Then they told us also for C, so I'll come and say C will equal to, now for C, we are going to add up everything we have here. So it will be 12 plus 8 plus 9 plus the 20. And that one, 12 plus 8, is it 49? Add can C also. So it is equal to 49. Then you conclude, you make your conclusion that the number of students who ticked A were 60 and those who ticked C were 49. Then number 2, part B, identify the candidate preferred by the majority. Now, by the majority. So when you notice, if I go back, This one was 49. This one was 60. Let me know through the chat for answer B. Which student are you who was preferred by majority? Which student was preferred? Everyone is saying A. So here, please don't give those plain answers. So here, identify the candidate preferred by the majority. So here, I expect you are going to write a statement. You will say that the student preferred by the majority was Andrew because you give the reason why you are taking on that particular child. You say that the student that was preferred by majority was Andrew because he accumulated more ticks of 60 students or learners more than any other candidate. So that is your kind of response you are going to give to part B, that the candidate that was preferred by the majority is Andrew, or you can say Andrew was preferred by the majority of the learners because he had more ticks compared to the other candidates. Then part C, assess whether the elected candidate is likely to lead the class easily using percentages to support your reasoning. Now, the moment you say likelihood, A, we have invalid votes. We have them as 12. A. So the likelihood, that means is a probability. So you are going to first come and now find out what is the probability for this person, for Andrew, probability of Andrew leading the class. So the probability of Andrew leading the class, we know very well that it's going to be Andrew is 60 divided by the total number of students, which is 116. But since I've added on that in percentages, you can say 6 out of 116 times 100. And which percentage are you getting? 60 divided by 116 times 100. It gives us a 51.724%. Then you go back to your probability scale. We say this is 0, this is 25%, this is 50%, this is 75%, and this is 100%. Now, your interpretation should be based on this. Remember, we say this one is very unlikely. This one is unlikely. Here it is either unlikely or likely. Here it is very likely. Now, I want us to interpret, looking at our probability, where it lies, and this item here. Assess whether the elected candidate is actually the class easily using percentages to support your reasoning. Can someone raise up the hand and you tell us? Who is taking us through? I want a conclusion. Okay, yeah. People have identified that it is likely. But how are you going to conclude, to make a conclusion? Yes, D?
The elected candidate is likely to lead the class easily since the percentage 52 is greater than 50, is in the range 50 to 75%.
Okay. Thank you, D. Any other? Yes. Okay. Bust. Thank you, D. Yes, Bust.
Since the percentage is 51.724%, which is ranging between 50 and 75, so the candidate is likely to lead the class.
Okay. Thank you. So how you conclude also matters a lot. Thank you, Bast. Yes, Gavanian.
I also wanted to give my conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew is likely to lead the
Yes.
class. Andrew is likely to lead the class easily since the chances of him leading the class are high.
Okay. Okay. So you give your conclusion based on that probability scale. So in case you missed how we use the probability scale, you can visit that lesson we had on probabilities. We talked about that scale and how you can interpret it. Okay. Let's read through this item as well. Let's read through this item as well. Okay, let me hope now people have been able to go through the item. Okay, now we are going to start. We have said the first thing, whenever you are dealing with this, first define what are you using. That is the first thing you have to deal with. What are you using? So from this item, we are going to define what we are going to use. Number one, they have told us that the Department of Health in Sorority Council is conducting a survey about the existence of 3 unique strains of malaria parasites in boarding schools. A bylaw was reached that schools should be closed if the chance of students testing positive with at least 2 strains of the parasite is above 45%. The local government collected a sample of students and tested them for the 3 parasites. The findings were that 50 students tested positive with saline parasite. So here I expect that now you are going to come and say, let's see, be the one to represent our set of saline parasite. Then you know that this is set C. Then set, this is the first parasite. We have that one. Let me call it E. Has those ones, I don't know how it is pronounced, but those parasites. And then this is 1, 2. Then the other one is T, which is the tetrine parasite. That is the first thing. First, identify the variables we are going to use. Now, after identifying, we go back and you start interpreting statement by statement. So we start from here. The findings were that 50 students tested positive with saline. So I will say N of C was equal to 50 students. 60 tested positive for this virus. So I will say N of E was equal to 60. And 40 tested positive with this. So I'll come here and say this was equal to 40. Additionally, 20 students tested positive with parasite of C and this. So I will say C and E was equal to 20. 10 tested positive with this and this. So now I will say C and T was equal to 10. And 15 students tested positive with this and this. So I'll come and I say 15 tested this, and this was equal to 15. Furthermore, 20 students tested positive with tetrine parasites only. Now that one, we said whenever you find the word only, tetrine only was equal to 20. So you write the word there only, because that one should give you a hint that there is nothing you have to subtract. The moment you find the word only, do not subtract anything. While the correct data also shows that 40 students tested negative for any of the parasites. Now, you are noticing that all these ones here, anything within our Venn diagram is talking about positivity. Now, that means you need to think that negative is going to be where? So that means that people who are negative are the ones who didn't have the virus. In diseases, someone who is positive is one who has been contracted. In case you have a virus, we say you are positive. In case you don't have a virus, we say you are negative. So a negative is someone who doesn't have the virus. So people who don't have the virus are the ones that are going to be outside our Venn diagram. So now I will say C prime, intersection T prime, intersection E prime. These ones are going to be 40. Kindly let me know whether we are on the same page. Let me know whether we are on the same page. Is everyone there? Or we are leaving someone behind? The Gavanians, hope we are not leaving your class behind. Okay, I think now people, we are on the same page according to what I have seen in the chat. Now from there, after analyzing your data, the next step you are going to do is to draw Venn diagrams. But before you draw your Venn diagram, specify which approach or method are you using to present your data that I'm using a Venn diagram. So now we are going to come here on our Venn diagram, and then we are going to write very well our title. Don't forget that title carries a mark. So don't forget. So I write my title here, Venn diagram. Venn diagram showing or representing the sample or the students being tested, the students being tested. Oh, something like that. Or someone can say a Venn diagram showing students tested with the possibility of having a virus. Something like that. Then from there, we have said our next step is for us to draw our Venn diagram. So you use your blue. Feel free to use your pen in case you feel you are very accurate and you may not make a mistake. So then after, we draw our three circles. We draw our three circles. We draw our three circles like that. Then from there, we are going to label. You notice they did not give you the total number of students. This was not given to you, but they gave us for this virus here, it was 50. They gave us for this virus here of E was 60, and they gave you this virus T, which was 40. Now, secondly, you are noticing they did not give you what about students who had all the viruses. So those ones you come here and define that C intersection T intersection E is equal to X. So here we shall put our X. Now I'll fill in this, and this. Now I go C and E. Now, when we say C and E, C is here and E is here. So it is the whole of this part here. So to get those who of C and E only, we shall get the 20 minus X. So here I'll write 20 minus X. When I go to C and T is here. Since they have not told us only, still we subtract minus the what is in the middle. E and T, since they have not told us only, still you go on and subtract 15 minus X. So we have finished this, and this. Then you go to 20. T only. This is T only, and they have told us that these ones were 20. So also you have finished this. Then those who were tested negative were 40. So I'll put here that this is the 40. Now, after doing so, you are going to find your unknowns. Always, there is a hint of something you can use to find the rest of the unknowns. So I'm going to now remove this summary of mine such that I can now create space for the new thing. So when I come, I will start with finding the unknowns. So I can write here a small heading, finding the unknown X, no problem. So now to find X, you are noticing that when you add everything you have here, you can be able to get the 40. So I'm going to come and I add. So I'll come here and I say 10 minus X plus 15 minus X plus the 20 should give me the 40. So you collect the likely terms. So it is 10 plus 15 plus 20 minus X plus X minus X will equal to 40. So you add your things. So you add the 10 plus 15 plus 20 will give you 45. Minus X plus X minus X will give us a minus X equals to 40. So when you collect like terms, 45 minus 45 minus X will equal to 40 minus 45. So negative X will equal to negative 5 and your X will equal to 5 when you divide. So you divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. So our X equals to 5. So where there is X, it means we shall have 5. Now, the next thing is that before you go on to draw the accurate diagram, you find out what each and everything is. So here, I can say here, I will do my things, what is here, and what is here. So I don't know whether I want, you do it, you say maybe C and T only. So it is 10 minus X, which is 10 minus 5, which is 5. So here we have 5. Here we have already obtained also 5. Then here, which is now T and E only, you say now it is 15 minus X, which is 15 minus 5, which gives us that 10. So here you have 10. You come here again. You say now, what about C and E only? So it is 20 minus X, which is 20 minus 5, which is equal to 15. So here we have our 15. Now, your next task or what to do next is now to go on and find out what about this space here? What about this space here? Now, to get that space, you let an unknown say, but let people also find call out what is here, what is A and what is B. Can everyone at least be able to find that? You find for me those ones at least also. Call those ones. Okay. Okay, let me hope people are finding out. People are getting A, B is 25, and A is 20. I'm going to believe and I go with those ones. People here are getting, now I'm confused. Gavania now is getting a different answer. Let me be cleaning here and then we just confirm whether we are also getting the same. Because I had to trust the answers, but now I've seen something different. So I will say for N of C only. So I've called it B plus 10 minus, since I've got, I will say B plus 5 plus the 5 plus the 15 should give us the 50. So when you add everything there, you end up with B plus 25 equals to 50. So your B will equal to 50 minus 25. So B is equal to 25. So I agree with people having 25 here. Then for A only, this was 15. So for N of E only, so E only, it means that you are going to have this here, here, and here. So we have said that is A plus the 15 plus the 5 plus the 10 should give us the 60. So when you add everything there, I'm not saying that A plus the 30 is equal to 60 and our A will equal to 30. I don't know whether we are getting the same. And people were getting 25 and 20. So I don't know how they got that. Oh, this is, yeah, I think that's okay. I don't know whether people you are agreeing with me or I don't know where people are getting the 20. 25 is okay, but I'm getting 30. Are you also getting 30? Or we are still calculating? If you agree, you let me know. Okay, people have, one of them has got 30. Patricia, Joss, CJ. Okay, good. Okay, now since we have got those ones, let me see whether you can be able to draw. It is a bit tough. I wanted to. Okay, let me just clean my screen and then I draw a new Venn diagram that I'm going to use to make any other calculations. So this new Venn diagram, you draw yours like the way I've drawn mine. And then now you start that N of C was equal to 50. N of E was equal to 60. N of T was equal to 40. This was 20. Then this was 10. This was 5. This was 5. This was 15. People here got 25. People here got 30. Then outside here we had 40, but we don't know the universal set. So that is your final diagram that you are going to use now to answer the rest of the items. So the first one was determine the number of students who were tested in the city. Now, the number of students who are tested in the city, they are asking for the total number of students, this one. So mean that we are going to add everything. So you are going to allow me that for me, I'm going to first add the whole of this set here. That set is 50 plus what is remaining, which is the 30 plus the 10 plus the 20 plus the 40. So that is giving me our universal set. So when you add, add and tell me what you're getting. Someone has 150. So people are getting 150 and Megan 150. Okay, good. So people have 150. Can we continue to the next part? The next part wanted, so here you conclude that the number of students who were tested in the city were 150 students. Then the part 2, calculate the probability of a student testing positive with at least 2 strains of malaria parasite. Now, when they tell us at least 2, you remember we say probability of at least 2. At least 2 means greater than or equal to 2. So that means that person may have contracted 2 or 3 parasites. So that means that now you are going to first find the number. So you say number of students who had at least 2 will equal to, now I'm going to have 15 plus the 5, those have 2 plus the 10. But since they said at least, also you're going to consider the 5 here. So you make your addition, tan, 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 tan. So I'm getting 35. Now, since they asked us the probability, then you say probability that a student contracted at least 2 will be equal to 35 divided by the total number of 150. So this will give you 35 divided by 150, which gives us 7 out of 30. Yeah. But when we go back to the question, they told us that capture the testing with at least 2 strains, that is it. But when you look at the question here, the question should guide you. You are noticing they were using percentages, and the condition was that testing with at least 2 strains of malaria is above 45. So meaning that now you need to calculate the percentage. That is very important. So here, I'm going to come and I say, this is going to be 7 out of 30 times 100. And when you look at this percentage, 7 divided by 30 times 100, the percentage is 23.33%. Now, when you go back to your probability scale, I want us to always use the correct mathematical words in our conclusion. So you go back, you ask, this is 0, this is 25, this is 50, this is 75, this is 100. So 0 to 25 is here, and we say this is very unlikely. So since our item here required us to advise the Department of Health whether, with a reason based on whether to close the school or not. So can we make a conclusion based on that? Someone to give us a conclusion. Who wants to give us a conclusion? Let me unmute someone here and so that they can give us a conclusion. Okay. Anyone? Okay. Yes, Gavania.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
The conclusion is the schools are very likely to be closed since the probability is less than 45%.
Okay, good. So now remember, Gavanian, remember the condition was whether they should cross or not. So what is your take? You have not yet made the decision. What is your take?
They should close.
Why should they close?
Because the probability is less than 45%.
Yet, what was the condition? First, go back and read that statement. What was the condition for closing? What was the condition for closing?
If the chance of a student testing positive with at least 2 strains
Are you getting it?
by law reached The school should be closed if the chance of a student testing positive with at least 2 strains of malaria parasites is above 45%.
So when you look at the probability we have got, is it or not?
They should not be closed. They should not, the school should not be closed because the percentage is according to the probability scale, it is very unlikely and the percentage is below 45%. So they should not close.
Okay. Thank you. So here we expect you to take on the decision. So the decision is either to cross or not to cross. So now your decision is not to cross. Then from there, give the reason why not to cross based on your interpretation from the scenario. Okay, let me hope that is very, very fine. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me hope that is clear to everyone. Okay, now unless someone has a question, yes, Milton.
Good morning, Master.
Good morning.
Today I came very late, but I don't know whether you have done any number of set theory having fractions when it has fractions.
Yeah, we have done something of that nature with interpretations of a half and twice.
Okay, because there's a certain paper I have sent in the chat of Kamsa, the one which had those kind of fractions. But anyway, I'll bronze you to like cross check the.
Okay. Yes, Gavanian, you can let me know in the chat whether tomorrow you want us also to continue with sets. People can let us know. Yes, Gavanian?
Master, I have a question.
Yes?
I have a question.
Yes.
Like, even these ones, like 40 outside, were also tested.
Yes, but they found them negative.
So these ones inside the one they were tested.
Yes?
These ones who are in the number of doses of saline of tetrin, they were the ones who were tested positive.
Yes, the ones inside, they were tested positive. The ones outside, they were tested negative.
Okay.
Okay. 7.
Teacher, I have a question. On the other number where they told us the students voted A and B, but not C. Why did we again subtract from the ones who voted all the 3? I thought when they say A and B, but not C, that means those ones only voted A intersection.
I'm not getting you. Come again. You are saying?
On the other number we did for voting of students, they told us that 20 students voted A and C, but not B. And then when we reached the part of writing in the intersection part, we did 20 minus X. I thought when they told us but not B, that already means A intersection C only.
Now, the context, when they tell you A and, No, that was just a condition.
A and C.
I think let me stop. Let me first clean. Let me clean. I have homework members, but I wanted to first go back a bit. Now, on this number, it was, remember at first they gave you A and C. Did you see this?
Yes, teacher.
They told that A and C were 20. Eh? A and C were 20.
Yes.
So here, do you subtract? You don't.
A and C. You don't. You subtract, teacher. You subtract.
You subtract. Remember, if this is your set, this is A, this is, let me say, C. A and C is the whole of this region here. Are you seeing this region here? That is A and C. But the region you are talking about is only here. So since the question gave us,
okay.
I know that you have picked it now.
Yes, I've got it.
Yeah, so that's why we subtracted
Thank
for
you.
that now. Okay, let me first give you homework for the numbers you are going to try out. First take that one. You are going to try out that. Yes, Gavanian and 7.
Master,
Yes.
Master,
Yes.
when do we use the union complement? Because I thought that when they say that theory of, okay, like 30 did not like any of the three. I thought that where we should use the union complements. So I'm confused from there.
Now, for that particular one, are you seeing this?
Yes.
This one is none of the 3. But this one is the same as this. Those two are the same. So you can either use this or this.
Okay.
And that one comes from what you call the De Morgan's rules. Okay. So allow me to give you another one. Take a screenshot of those two. Okay, so those are the two. Now, I don't know, Eric. Is Eric still on? Okay. Okay. So I see, okay, I'm going to look through the chat and see the topics, whether we should continue with sets tomorrow and do other 2 or 3 mock numbers from different sets, and then we continue. Okay. Okay. I'm just checking through. Okay. 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 I've seen in the chat. So the other item, maybe I may just need to talk about it. Can you just give me 2 minutes to talk about? Let me first check out for that paper. There is some interpretation I think you need to know. Let me first look for, because now I'm not seeing what people were confusing with the word all. Just give me a minute. I get that paper. Where is the paper? So people who didn't do this mock paper, you can as well have, you can try it out. So let me first take a screenshot. Now, when you look at this item, this is, I think I saw people saying in the chat it was workshop. Now, I want you to pay attention because the statement here you had football, volleyball, and netball. So you need first say, F is for football. I'm not going to do the whole number. V is for volleyball, and N is for netball. However, he decides that they will participate in other games if they provide. His target is take more than 60 learners. Now, this is where you needed to know. Because here, when they say either, that is where you had to remember which words. So this either here, where his target is take more than 60 learners who play either football or volleyball. Yes. Now, let me put it here on the Venn diagram first. I'm just using two just for understanding. This is football and this is volleyball. So when we say either football or volleyball, that means that these students can't play two games. So either football or volleyball is this part here and this part here. That is the meaning. That's how you had to interpret that part there. But they cannot play two games. So those ones, when you're writing it mathematically, you can say football or volleyball, but either. So that's how you had to interpret that here intersection here is 0. So I think that's what was confusing one of you. So that's how you had to interpret it. Yeah. So in case you had gone on your Venn diagram and everything, then that's how you had to interpret that part. Yeah. Okay. But also take a screenshot of this. You can try it in your free time. But in case time allows, maybe I'll get time and then I go through the CAMSA number one of you shared that wanted us to go through. Yeah. Okay. So according to the chat, I've seen people asking about data collection. I've seen people asking about, we have done business math, we have done ratios and proportions, asking about loci, 3Ds. I think we have not gone deep in them. Then distance time graphs. Okay. So I think data collection, loci. Okay. Okay. Bearings. Okay. 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 So we shall do one of them. We shall do one of them. We shall do one of them. Yes. So Do not worry, we shall do one of them tomorrow. I will decide on which one to start with. Otherwise, thank you so much. Let me wish you a good day. Yeah, someone to lead us in a word of prayer. Anyone who wants to lead us in a word of prayer? Okay. Yes, Patricia Mary.
Let's humble ourselves for prayer. Almighty Father, thank you for today. Thank you for this lesson, Father, King of Glory. As we've gone through set theory, may you enable us to remember each and everything that we've learned. Father, King of Glory, may you enlighten our enable, Lord Father. May you enable us perform well through all. I pray in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good evening, a good day, and bye-bye.